Hey everyone, and welcome to this step-by-step explainer. Today we're going to completely demystify the GED Science exam, and we're taking your score from 0 all the way to the maximum 200. We're going to focus on an absolutely crucial part of the test, human health and living systems. Now, if science terms or data charts usually make you a bit nervous, do not worry at all. We're going to break it all down so you can walk into that test with total confidence. Let's jump right in.
Here's our roadmap for today. We've got scoring your GED science, easy nutrition principles, medium disease transmission, hard immune system responses, and finally, keys to remember. Section 1, scoring your GED science and what to expect. Let's cover the basics of the exam first.
What's really interesting is how this test is actually divided up. Life science makes up a massive 40% of your entire 90-minute exam. Physical science is another 40%, and earth and space science wraps up the remaining 20%. Since life science is such a huge chunk, mastering topics like human health is literally the best use of your study time. It represents about 16 out of the 40 questions you're going to face.
Okay, here is the absolute best news you're going to hear all day. The GED is scored on a scale from 100 to 200, right? But you don't need a perfect score. You only need a scaled score of 145 to pass and earn your credential. That means you have so much room to make mistakes. You really don't need to memorize a giant textbook full of facts. The test is actually just about your ability to read data, evaluate evidence, and draw logical conclusions. Moving on to Section 2, Easy Nutrition Principles, Fueling the Body. We're starting our step-by-step learning with a really nice basic topic. The GED absolutely loves the theme of energy. A typical easy-level question will just ask how food gives us power. For example, you might get a short text explaining how the body takes calories from a slice of bread and turns them into energy for your cells. Your job isn't to have the whole human digestive system memorized. You just need to answer, based on the reading, how does the energy flow? So how exactly do we tackle this? The secret technique is to rely completely on the provided materials. Almost every question on this test is based on a short reading passage, a graph, or a table. First, you read that passage carefully. Second, locate the specific nutritional data they give you. And third, identify your variables. The independent variable is the thing being changed, like the amount of food eaten, and the dependent variable is what is being measured, like the actual energy output that gets produced.
Let's see how this actually works in action. Step 1, you find the food's calories right there in the text. Step 2, identify the energy change. Think of chemical energy from the food turning into movement energy for your muscles. Step 3, look at your choices and just pick the answer that matches your steps. By showing our work in these 3 really clear steps, we can see that finding the correct answer is just about following the evidence to its logical conclusion. No outside memorization required at all.
Section 3, medium disease transmission, how invaders attack. Let's turn up the heat slightly and look at what happens when our living systems are compromised. For these medium difficulty questions, knowing basic vocabulary is going to help you read much faster. You'll definitely want to know terms like pathogen. A pathogen is just a fancy word for a foreign invader, like a virus in the air or bacteria in the blood that makes you sick. Knowing this simply helps you understand the test paragraphs so much easier. Now, for this medium-level question, the test shifts. Instead of looking at just one human body, we're looking at a whole city. They're going to ask how diseases spread through communities over time, and if interventions like clean water or vaccines actually help. Basically, you get to think like a public health scientist. The GED loves using data tables to test your skills, and here we're comparing infection rates before and after a vaccine was introduced. Your task is really straightforward. Look at the before numbers, compare them to the after numbers, and figure out if the vaccine actually worked. The crucial point is how we process this information. Step 1, actively compare the columns. Step 2, you might need to do some very simple math. They might ask for the mean, which is just the average transmission rate, or the range between the highest and lowest numbers. Step 3, we evaluate the experiment. We use that mathematical difference to prove that the vaccination lowered the transmission rate. Boom! You've just used quantitative evidence to support a scientific conclusion. Section 4, Hard Immune System Responses, How the Body Fights Back. You are doing great, so let's tackle the highest level of difficulty. For these harder questions, the topic of homeostasis is super popular. Now, don't let the word scare you. Homeostasis is literally just the body's way of keeping things stable and balanced. A perfect example is sweating. When you get too hot, your body sweats to cool you down and return your internal temperature to normal. The exam will ask you to analyze these kinds of balancing acts.
This is a classic, rigorous GED question. They'll give you a hypothesis, like guessing that a patient's immune system fought off a virus and returned the body to normal. Then they give you the data. The big question you have to answer is, does the data actually support or challenge that guess? Comparing test results directly to scientific claims is exactly what gets you a top score.
When you're looking at visual data, you might see 3 stages: a baseline normal temperature, a big spike during infection, and then the temperature during recovery. You have to use your math skills to read charts like this. Think about it. If the recovery data drops back down to match the baseline data, what does that tell us about our initial guess?
Let's walk through the logic together. Step 1, remember the hypothesis was that the body returned to normal. Step 2, we analyze the recovery data and see it perfectly matches the baseline temperature. Step 3, we confirm that yes, the visual data absolutely supports the claim. By connecting that final data point back to the very first guess, you can confidently pick the right answer. See? You're thinking exactly like a scientist.
Finally, Section 5, Keys to Remember, your pathway to 200. Let's wrap up everything we've learned today and lock it in. Here are your ultimate takeaways. First, remember your target. 145 is the passing score. You do not need to be perfect. Second, focus your study time on reading comprehension and analyzing data charts, not memorizing an encyclopedia of biology facts. The answers are almost always hidden right there in the text. And third, really understand basic experimental design. Just know how to spot an independent variable, a dependent variable, and a hypothesis. I want to leave you with this final thought. The science skills you're building right now aren't just for passing a test. They literally govern the world around us. So the next time you see a health statistic or some medical claim on the news, ask yourself, can I identify the hypothesis here? What are the actual variables? Does their data really support their conclusion? If you can start applying these analytical skills to the real world, you are well on your way to absolutely dominating the GED science exam. Keep focusing, keep practicing, and I will see you in our next explainer.